Hello and welcome to The Flip Side, where we talk about the news behind the headlines. I'm Lauren Strapagill, news editor for Canada.com.
And my name's Alyssa Freeman, PR specialist and Canada.com columnist. Well, Lauren, we all know the one story that we're going to be talking about on the flip side, and that is...
The royal baby.
Oh.
We'll call this the royal baby special episode. It was the biggest story of the week, at least going by the number of headlines, the number of minutes on air, that sort of thing. So I think we should dissect the royal baby coverage. Now, the first question I have, Alyssa, is what is the difference between a royal baby birth and just some other celebrity baby birth? Say like the Kardashian and Kanye baby.
You know, I think that there is a very big difference. The celebrity baby is all about, it's cute, and yes, we may like it, when our favorite actress gives birth. However, it's very fleeting, and we really don't care much. However, the one thing that does underline celebrity birth is who's going to get the cover? Is it Us Weekly? Is it People? There's a mercenary aspect that is intrinsically, entwined with celebrity births, and that sort of gives it a little bit of an unsavory aspect. On the other hand, a royal baby, well, this baby is going to be king. This baby belongs to everyone, especially for those of us at the Commonwealth. So therefore, people have a sense of awe and a sense of importance on this birth. And in a sense, we will be watching every single move with great interest because of the future importance all of this will mean in, several decades hence. But I do have to say, Lauren, as a news editor, how do you decide how much coverage is too much? Even for us, those of us who love the royals, can it get overwhelming, even for you?
Well, I mean, I'm a news editor. I'm used to covering, breaking news, disasters, conflict, but my week was spent covering the royal baby because that was just simply the top story. Now, as an online publication, Canada.com at least has the benefit of we can follow as many stories as we want. You get to choose to click and read them. So we did go kind of full tilt on the coverage. I mean, our readers loved it. We got a lot of clicks. It was the top search term for the whole week. But that being said, I think when you're looking at broadcast news, you'll see on CBC, CNN, BBC, they spent hours with cameras trained on the door of the Lindo Wing at St. Mary's Hospital in London. And it was hours of a door. I mean, it was a really nice door. Don't get me wrong, very British door. But it got excessive. I think it's a good idea to take 5 minutes, go cover something else, come back. But that didn't really happen.
Well, it was very interesting. I noticed on one of the channels, I won't say which, that as soon as the new parents alighted from the door, this particular broadcaster said, "Oh, and now we have some breaking news." And there happened to be a Southwest flight that was stranded or something happened at LaGuardia. But it was such an afterthought. I mean, truly, the world would have had to have ended for them to break away from that coverage.
Pretty much. And a good thing it didn't, because we probably would never have found out. But yes, I mean, and I think that just comes with the territory of the monarchy. I mean, a lot of people like to complain. Especially if you looked at The Guardian, actually, over the last week during Royal Baby Fever, even had a little button, Republican button, to take away all the royal baby coverage. But that being said, the world does love the monarchy, and I can understand why people got so excited.
Well, I, for one, would have not clicked on that button, just so you know, Lauren. I would have absolutely opted in for all the coverage. In fact, I wrote a column about the new baby. Raising a king can't be easy. And I think there's something to be said on how the palace dealt with that particular photo op with, as you said, all the eyes of the world watching. This was really a truly as normal as possible looking family, even though little King was in the car seat, that they made it look so relatable. And yes, some people may say, oh, that's just so contrived. Of course, they thought about every move. But you know what? Give them points for at least thinking about it. They came out, young shy couple holding their baby. Even when Kate gave, future Prince George, to her husband Will, he was a little bit nervous in holding that baby, and head up, head up. And they approached the press. They talked to them. They apologized for it taking so long. And then, really, for me, the pièce de résistance. There is Kate in a actual post-pregnancy body. Hey, world. This is what I look like. Yes, I have been thin before, but I'm not afraid to show you what a real woman looks like when she's given birth. And I thought that that was fabulous. And then they get into the car. The Range Rover drives up. Is it the Secret Service or the Royal Footman who drives away? No, it's Will. Kate gets to the back, buckles the baby in, and off they go. It was actually touching and so relatable. 10 out of 10 for the palace.
Yeah, they did a great job, and I mean, the royal family, they have a reputation for being kind of stuffy and inaccessible, and Will and Kate are doing basically the opposite. And I gotta say, it kind of makes them more fun to cover.
You know what? I agree. And of course, the comparisons were made. The type of polka dot dress that Kate wore was similar to the polka dot dress that the late Princess Diana wore. So there were some very bittersweet moments which were not lost on the press. Even the way that Kate was holding the prince, they showed very clearly that that is the ring that was on Diana's hand. So a lot of people thought that perhaps Spencer was going to make it into one of the names of the young prince, but I think that Kate and Will were very creative and maybe a little bit wily in saying that even if the palace doesn't want to acknowledge who the grandmother should be, that we will. And so by those touches, it really showed a sense of humanity.
Yeah. It was just kind of a nice moment.
I could go on and on. However, I think that we've pretty much covered the gamut as far as the royal baby is concerned.
Well, I think the only thing left is just waiting on the articles asking how Kate will lose the pregnancy weight, because that's coming.
You know what? I hope that the media is good to her. I really do, and I hope that by setting this example of this first photo op, that they take it easy on her. And there will be the inevitable articles, but I think women really are pushing for the press to show some restraint, and I hope that Canada.com does it, that to show some restraint on dealing with Kate as a new mother. At least I know it won't last, but I do hope that's one of my hopes.
Yeah. Well, we'll be watching. I'll see you next week, Alyssa.
Okay, see you next week on the flip side, Lauren.